What's going on, guys? We're here. We're ready. It's Friday night. We're going to talk some advanced bot tricks. And I got Dr. Bot here with me. He's part of the moderators team for CFB. Amazing. He does stuff with my bot I didn't even know I could that can be done. So that's why he's on here tonight. He's going to teach me. How's it going, man?
Doing great, doing great. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so this stream's definitely going to be geared towards a little bit more advanced. So definitely, we're going to keep our eye on the chat the best we can. If we have any issues with the chat, we'll just move that chat to the Discord. So not a big deal. We won't want to get those questions answered. So feel free to ask. And man, with that, I mean, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, so a lot of times there's a lot of questions coming out about how to create a little more complex logic statements, just not so complex, but combining confirmations and more importantly, having an either or. Okay, so the functionality is definitely there in CFB. You have to kind of work your way around the basic elements and how CFB is working at present. I know Borswitch is working like a maniac and bringing new things on all the time. He recently brought on a different kind of OR functionality, and that works well too. I can explain about that a little bit at the end. But for the way that at least I program, that didn't help me personally out so much. And I'm going to show everybody my latest strategy that's up on my channel, SCAF Sandbox. I did try to post the comment in the chat of what it is, but you can go to the Discord under strategies, SCAF Sandbox, and it is listed there. I just posted it again, and what I'm going through now is actually pinned to the top of that feed as a Google Doc. It's still undergoing forward testing now, just as a strategy, and just whittling away and fine tuning stuff. But overall, it's doing very well.
Awesome,
The
awesome. I'm going to go ahead and share this real quick, move it over on the screen for everybody. So you just come down to the strategies R&D, and then you scroll on down to SCAF's sandbox here. And then this is the Google Doc link right here in Discord that you see. So that way you guys know where to find it.
Awesome. I can't see that on my end, but oh, there you go. Okay. Now
Yeah.
there's a little bit of a delay, like you said. Okay. All right, perfect. Excellent. All right, so then I'm going to go over just go down and scroll down to one of the opening signals where you have a very simple element of an OR. I can't really point to this on the screen that I have. Perhaps I can highlight it. But when we're looking at the required indicators here,
Right.
you can see that I have just a few. Actually, that's a little wrong, just right there. I have three. So I have three confirmations after the trade gets triggered that I want to make sure fall in line in order to have the trade go. And the first one, it says 3A TAM ADX, that says trend. That's a simple yes or no. It either says trend or it doesn't. That's a very simple confirmation, nothing special there. The next one is trend alert. Again, very simple confirmation. It's an indicator that's public up on TradingView, just like ADX is, and it's very easy to get your alerts off of that. Here is the one where we come in and get an OR statement for the 3A TAM MCB, which is Market Cipher B. And you don't need Market Cipher B. You can get a lot of this from either the Div Reader Alpha or Fu Manchu. I think for one thing that I use in this trade, you would need Fu Manchu. The rest you could use Div Reader Alpha that Benton built. Awesome programmer. Now, this here, it says positive. So when I say MOM, what I'm referring to in my shorthand is one of the momentum waves. So I don't want just the dark blue wave or the light and the light blue wave, one or the other. It could be either. So what I had to do was I had to program, and I'm going to go down here a little further, a confirmation called 3810 MCB MOM. And what's going to make that turn positive is either the light blue wave is above a certain threshold or the dark blue wave is above a threshold. So I have actually two confirmations that can turn that that value positive. Okay. Now, gotta come down here. Everything is laid out very nicely in there. So I gotta find it. Sorry. My eyes are bad. I got to pull this up a little bit better. So here we see on this screen here, when I want to have this label, right? 3A TAM MCB MOM on the left side, you're going to see it says if market cipher B blue wave is greater than 0, meaning positive, it's going to create the label, it's going to create the value positive in that slot. And immediately to the right in the same picture, you can see I do the same thing with the light blue wave. So I actually have two alerts that are creating the same result. If either one of them turn positive, then the value on the confirmation on the server for CFB is going to be positive. So that is a very effective way to create an OR condition. So just to lay it out a little more verbally, right, is if the dark blue wave is positive or the light blue wave is positive, the confirmation value that the open signal is looking for will be positive. Keep in mind the dark blue wave could be negative and the light blue wave can be positive, and still I'll have a positive value. The dark blue wave could be positive, and the light blue
Okay.
wave can be negative, and still the signal will say positive because I'm not recording negative. I'm only recording positive. Okay?
Yeah, that does make so that's how you're okay, so that's how you're using the system to get a OR statement.
Or correct. And of
Gotcha.
course, for the shorts, I do the opposite, right? I use it for negative, but that's all laid out.
Oh,
That's
bro,
all laid
so
out there. Matter of
so
fact, this one here.
dude, okay, so if you did like a 3-6-12 and you had all of your 3-6-12s feeding into one indicator, like you're saying, where they don't overwrite, but if you only yeah, man, this totally makes sense. Wow, that's
And
awesome.
in fact, I do that. So I'll use multiple time frames and allow one time frame or another to create that positive value. So
I'm super impressed.
the
That's awesome.
what was that? Okay. So now, if we want to move down to the closed signals, it gets even a little more involved, but it's the same logic. So if we're looking down here, and this is my long close, again, I'll just highlight here where my required indicators. I only have 3. Okay, so once the trigger goes, I only have. My fingers are too fat here. Okay. All right. I only have 3 required indicators, but that top one is exactly the same as before. So I'm using that momentum wave, either light blue or dark blue, as a positive or at a certain value. Actually, this is a little different, so I'll show you in a second. But that's an OR statement. The MOM exit, the RSI exit is going to take into account whether the stochastic RSI or the regular RSI is above or below a certain trigger point. And the money flow that 5 MF slope is a money flow slope. And I figured out in testing that, a change of 5/5 bars was significant enough, based on if it was a positive slope or a negative slope, to use in a
Okay.
closing signal.
Okay, I was
So
gonna
that's the
say
only,
too, the new money flow is basically I say it's similar math to like market cipher money flow, but it's very, 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 very different in the way it reads out because it's like you take that money flow and then you put an EMA on top of it. So
ah,
it totally smooths it out. So that way when you've got like a bunch of peaks and valleys over 50
mhm,
bars, where it went up, down, up, down, up, down, it might just be going down the entire time.
correct.
So
Yeah,
that's the
so
new money flow. So
yeah, that sounds great. It's just that wasn't available when I've been doing this strategy and back testing it for a long time,
yeah,
since like the fall. So it wasn't available back then to me. But it's all matter of testing. I mean, you can use any of the indicators working off the same logic. It's just a matter of finding the parameters that are going to work for what you want to do, right? That's what the testing's all about.
exactly.
That one is a simple confirmation. Okay, that's just it. It is or it isn't. Okay, there's no ands or ors in there. The RSI exit, now that's an or because I'm going to say if the stochastic or the standard RSI is above or below a certain trigger, then I want to place that close long value in the database. If the MOM exit is, again, that's the dark blue, light blue waves. I just want to make sure that one or the other is above or below a certain trigger as well. And I'll go down here and I'll show you what those are. So here is so what I've done is I've shown, again, this is market cipher Bybit. It can easily be done on the Reader Alpha or Fu-Manchu. I've set my thresholds. Again, this is less important in understanding the logic. This is just the logic of the strategy. Um, the overbought, I have at 80. Oversold, I have at 20. Okay. Those are the triggers that I'm going to use to base the RSIs on. Trigger one and trigger two are what I'm going to use to base the momentum waves on. I want them either above or below -40, right? Above or
Gotcha.
below that 40 point. Okay.
Gotcha.
So now when you go, again, that's the logic. Again, not as, I mean, that's the actual strategy. That's not as important, but the logic behind it is, is here, right? Now, this is the stochastic RSI. So since I have a closed signal for short and long, it's going to follow the same logic. You can see right here, we have the stochastic RSI. If it goes to, if it's greater than the overbought value, right, it's going to close long. Okay? And if it's less than the oversold level, then I'm going to want to close short. Okay, very, very standard thought. But what you see now on the next one, right? Because I'm closing the signal, which is MCB RSI exit, right? I'm getting closed long or closed short based on the stochastic. Now, if you go up here, now I'm going to use the same label, right? The same confirmation, but now RSI, the standard RSI, if it closes above overbought or below oversold, I'm going to close long or close short. So effectively, I've created another or statement, whether it's stochastic or standard, gets beyond that threshold, then I'm gonna send a close signal, be it long or short.
It's awesome.
Okay. And then going on to be very similar to the open signal, using the triggers, right? The either the dark blue or light blue wave. If it's less than the trigger that we set, which was uh, minus 40, then I'm going to close short, right? Dark blue or light blue.
Nice. And how's the
Right.
I know you're big into back testing, but you're just as big into forward testing. So how's the forward testing been? Because I've been seeing some like posts and stuff, people actually
So
posting, you know,
overall it's still in the positive. We had a couple of glitches with something that happened. I can't even remember now. So I think I coded something wrong. I just made a coding error,
okay,
and then
gotcha.
I fixed that. And but the logic didn't change. Sometimes the way these indicators actually throw their alerts out is a little. That's why you need to do forward testing because you can look backwards and say, "Oh, yeah, this is the way it is." But very important, actually, as an aside, when you're doing back testing, and this is why I don't like to automate it either, because there is very different results if you go back in time and then rewind and then go forward. You'll get different results because indicators will print differently, several of them, than if you just look back. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's very, very, very frustrating. Right now, I'm using the trend alert in another strategy, and it's very critical when it opens and closes and changes, and it's not the same. It is not. So I have to literally go back whenever I'm back testing and rewind and then go forward, which is really annoying when you're working with lower time. I mean, some lower time
Yeah.
frames because you only get
Yeah, they allow the
so many.
correction. They allow the correction in the math so many bars back and stuff, for sure.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I'm not, to be honest, I'm not even sure, and nobody can tell you if I do the rewind, is that really what actually happened? And they tell you we fiddle with the data. I mean, they outright tell you.
Yeah, they do.
So
In their disclaimer, they do,
so,
yeah. Um,
so you just don't
yeah.
know. That's why forward testing is so incredibly important. And it's some you'll get a basic strategy, and you will have to debug it, so to speak, or fine tune it, tweak it, whatever, as you move forward. And that's the painful part because it takes so long. You can go back test and test, dozens of trades, but going forward, it can take a long time. It's just painful.
For sure.
But it should be worth it in the long. And sometimes, you forward test it and the whole thing just falls apart, and you got to start over, right? But
Been
that's
there.
the nature of the game. Yeah.
Been there. That's why I protect profits so much. Because once I do create a bot that's good, if you don't protect the profits, your next bot may not be so good. But
Yep.
if you just keep protecting those profits, that's where it works out in the long run for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think that was pretty much everything I wanted to go over. Some nice ways to kind of get away or uh, take the simple programming of CFB and make it just a tiny bit more complex.
Absolutely. Yep. And I'm actually going to make a note. I'll try to make a stream soon just to show people, how to do what you did basically, and create or statements by using the database,
Cool.
by taking the indicators and feeding them in with the same names and everything. That's super good stuff right there. I like that. I don't know why I never thought of that. It's kind of simple logic, really. But
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not. It's just cumbersome, right? Because you have to do so many things. You're doing multiple levels of confirmations,
yep.
not just a simple one confirmation, one, required indicator. Like I'll have three confirmations just for one required indicator in a signal, sometimes more,
Yeah.
because you have to have levels, different levels. Like at the base level will be, say, the RSI level, but I'll have to have stochastic and RSI. And those are going to feed into the next level, which is either yes or no for any RSI. And then that's the level you throw into your signal. Now, the one that the new indicator that not indicator, the new functionality that that Morph Switch wrote is very nice. I'm actually using it in the current strategy I'm testing now. Is where you can have several indicators that either that are either going to say true or false, and you can select a number of those in order to make the bot fire. So if you put 5 in there, you can say, well, if any 3 are positive, then go, right? And
Yep.
you can pick that number. And that is very good in some situations. It wouldn't work in what I was, at
In
least
your
I
specific
can't
setup.
conceptualize how
Yeah.
it would work in my setup, but I have one right now. Um, I'm using a combination of the QQE and the Keltner channels and and the DRA, right? So the divs on both 6 and 12 minutes. And so that gives me a whole bunch of different combinations, of things, like 8 different things that I can use to either open or close stuff. And I'm fiddling with different variations where it would be, 5 of 8 in this situation, maybe, 3 of 8, okay, in another situation. And that's perfect for what he wrote.
That's awesome. And the way you're saying that, because somebody was asking one time, can you have one of the confirmations be, a must and then the others be optional? And you just answered that question, because I could put the 12-minute div on one of 2 required confirmations, but then I could have the money flow on the 1, 3, and 5 minute as any one of those 3, as long as, they're all feeding the same indicator. And, yeah, I probably need to break this down, like, in, like, lay it out for people. But yeah, totally. I can see this, man. That's awesome, because now I could have money flow with 3 different options. I could have momentum with 3 different options, but then I can have MACD, just to throw something, or an EMA for the third option, and I could have 3 of those. And if I get
Right,
one of any of those 3, but I can get them from different categories that way.
right.
So yeah,
So,
I see what you're
so
doing,
like,
man. This is good. I like it.
so, so like in this example, I don't know why it keeps doing that. Go away. That indicator there that I highlighted, that is a must, because that there's nothing else that does that except the calculation I have in there, right? That is an alert that's triggered, period.
Right.
It's either true or false. There's no other way around it.
Mm-hmm.
The two above it, those are both ors. So these 2 over here, now it does require that, like you're saying, you're talking about money flow, for example. Well, it does require that money flow is present, but you can say it could be 3, it could be 6, it could, right? That's what you're trying to say.
Yep, yep,
And that's
exactly.
what and that's what and that's what those are right there. Those 2. These 2 are ors, because I don't care which momentum wave hits my, trigger. I don't care which RSI hits my trigger. I just want one of them. And if you take this another step further, let's say you want to use 3 time frames and you want to have, a divergence. Well, now you can use the Borf switch equate, his the new one that's in there, the number of ors, right?
Yeah.
The number of conditions present in the statement, and you can say, you know, 3, 6, 12. And those are the indicators. And you can say div, right? Div
Mm-hmm.
present, true or false. And then you say 6-minute div, true or false. 3-minute div, true or false. 12-minute div, true or false. And then you can say one. I only want one of those, and I'm good. Or maybe you want 2, whatever you want, right?
Yep,
So you can say
exactly.
1 or 2, but now, and that's at lower level now, right? And then that comes up and it says div true, right? And now that's the one you put into your open or close signal, right? So. So now what he did was allow nesting. I would have to go one whole level down, and this, I would have to have, I think, 6 confirmations at the lower level, 3 at the level above it, and then be able to throw 1 up into the thing. But with the way he just did it, now you can get away with 1. So that makes it a lot easier.
Exactly.
Well,
Wow.
actually 2. You have to have 2 layers, right? But so you do it with divs, then you do it with money flow, then you do it with whatever you want. You know, you can put all those things in there. It
Absolutely.
just starts to really blow your mind. Now, you always knew you had the functionality, but now it just becomes a lot easier, um, because of all the different things that you could include. Um, and in the beginning, when you start playing with the bot, you don't think about orders. You just think about, well, I want this and this and this. Okay, but what if this one is or that one? You know what I mean? So the or just expands the possibilities tremendously. And it's what you would do when you read a chart anyway. You wouldn't do just, well, if, you would say, well, that doesn't look so good, but look at these things over here. That makes it better anyway,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I
So
said, well,
true.
I know the money flow is not going in the right direction, but oh my gosh, look at the divergence on the 3, the 6, the 12. The trend is in the right direction. Yeah, there's so many different variables. So momentum waves, cresting, whatever you want, right? So I don't care about money flow right now because all these other things just overshadow it. Well, now with the OR statements, you can take advantage of that fairly simply.
Super good stuff, man.
So maybe any questions perhaps, or is there anything else you wanted me to go over?
I'm not sure my brain can take anymore. No, that was great.
Or
No, that was fantastic. I don't have any questions. I made a bunch of notes actually, so I can make, like maybe like a 3-minute video, going over what we pretty much just went over today to like give people options. But I love that logic, man. So yeah, no, that's
yeah,
good.
it's
If
it's
no one has any questions, that was
cool,
awesome,
cool,
man.
cool, cool. All right. Well, I appreciate uh, the invite, and if anybody has any questions, you can hit me up on the Sandbox channel, um, or just tag me in any of the question and answer stuff. Actually, that's a good question. Does everybody have nobody? I'm sorry. Everybody does not have access to the strategy Discord, correct?
Yeah, this is for the advanced, so this would be for the premium users and the founders.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, certainly anybody who's listening that doesn't have access to the uh, to the channel that I do all this stuff in, you can certainly ask me a question on the Q&A, and I can at least let you know what's possible. Um, Although you probably need to upgrade in order to get that functionality.
Yeah, there's definitely some advanced stuff going on in there. I kind of just like browse through, and sometimes I see questions. I'm like, well, I would answer that if I knew exactly what was going on for that specific strategy. But you're always quick to answer, so and you got a lot of guys in there working with you too. So team effort, man. That's the way to do
Yeah,
it.
no, absolutely. Yeah, actually, one of the things, just as a side, one of the things that's really exciting, and I know some of the guys in there are helping me, is this reversal. Um, this is the one I'm talking about now is a trending strategy, but I have a reversal one that's coming that I wanted to pair together, because I have trending and reversal, time periods, and you can capitalize on both. That'd be great. I'm just about actually, I think I'm ready to start forward testing the reversal one. But the thing that's exciting to me is I think I want to take that and I want to use it with levels, and take
Ooh,
J levels, and because really what they are is they're reversals,
that could be
right? All
powerful.
his levels are reversals. So
Yeah.
if I can get this thing fine tuned, and instead of triggering it based on what I am now, if I can trigger it based on a level, or to even just include a level as one of the parameters,
Yeah, well, you've seen the new
Um,
daily, weekly, monthly level, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
I have.
exactly. I actually have a
That was
bot
your
running on
last.
that right now, so I need to go check on it. I haven't checked on it. I need to put it on my real account so I pay attention to it. Is what I need to do. It's on my test net
Yeah,
right
there's
now. I
just
need
too
to go
much.
make sure everything's functional and then move it over.
Yeah, but yeah, that was really good. I saw that when you and Nick were on a few nights ago with that. That was
Yeah,
good.
it was amazing. Shout out to Benton Building.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. Always willing to help too, man. I've asked him a few things and he just gets to it right away. Awesome. So, all right. What else can I? Any questions out there or anything I can
No,
help answer on your end?
no, I think we're good. I didn't see any pop up in the chat, so I'm sure we'll get more questions later, and I'm sure they'll just hit us up in the Q&A, or your sandbox is going to get flooded now, so that'll be awesome.
All right. So yeah, all right. Sounds good. Thanks
Cool.
a lot, Chief.
Yeah, thanks. All right, guys. If you need anything, you know where to find us. We're in the Discord. If it is your first time and you happen to just to come by, go ahead and like, subscribe, and right now we're running a 14-day free trial for the bot. So just go to JaysonCasperTrading.com and check it out for your 14-day free trial. Give it a shot. See if it's something that works for you. If you guys need some help, just reach out. See you in the Discord.